No, I've never smoked.
Part of the job is lifting me in a safe way for both of us. Do you feel comfortable with that?
Yes, well, if you show me what to do, I'm willing to learn.
Sometimes people who are coming to a job with an open attitude and no preconceived ideas of how to best meet your needs, they can turn out to be the best kind of personal assistants.
Punctuality is a very important part of this job. How can you convince me you'll be reliable when you were 20 minutes late for the interview?
I really assure you that I am always on time. I just am that type of person. Unfortunately, my car broke down on the A40 and I had to call out the AA, and as you know, I called from the AA man's phone. I really am so sorry I'm late.
What kind of work have you done recently?
Well, when I left college, I worked for a vet for a while and then I went travelling.
So what have you done, say, in the last year?
Well, come to think of it, I had a cousin who was disabled. I did some gardening for her, but we don't get on.
Sounds dodgy.
Our advice would be to be very, very cautious about gaps in employment history, because that is one of the ways that you can check out to some extent that people are bona fide personal assistants. Equally, taking up references is very important because that says something about that person's reliability and character.
There was one instance where it was a toss-up between personality and what they were actually saying, and I decided to go for the cheerful personality, mainly because I knew then that person was going to always be honest and truthful.
So, thank goodness that's all over. So, what did you think?
I thought the last one was good.
She was very good, but I want to go for the one whose car broke down. I think she'll have more stamina.
Yes, it is a toss-up between the two, isn't it? But I agree with the one you've chosen.
Yes. But if you could just get a couple of references and send them on to me, please, that'd be great. So, hopefully, if all goes well, you'll start on Monday week.
I'd leave it a couple of days before you tell the others, just in case you change their mind.
All right.
When it comes to drawing up the contract, you can contact your local independent living service, advice service, and they should have a template which you can use. I also used a handbook from the West of England Centre for Independent Living.
In any contract you have to specify what the job is, where the place of work is, how many hours, how much people get paid, when they get paid, the arrangements for taking holidays, the arrangements for sick leave, whether or not there's any pension attached to the job, and how the contract can be terminated by either side. So that's the basic requirements of a contract. In my contract, I include the code of conduct, and that really goes through a whole list of things about how I want people to behave when they're at work. And it includes things like, respecting my privacy. It includes turning up to work in a fit state, i.e. not under the influence of alcohol or drugs. It includes being on time. It includes things like if people break stuff to let me know. So really, we're just setting down really some common sense principles.
We always recommend, in particular, that you have a 1-month trial period before making any contract permanent with a personal assistant. And after that 1 month, there's an opportunity to let someone go and not get into a working relationship which isn't going to be effective.
I've done your contract, so here you are. Do you want to take it and read it through?
That seems a bit official, Ruth.
Yeah, I know, it is a bit bureaucratic, but I do like to do things by the book. It is the law, and I think it just helps us both really, because it just sets down what we can expect of each other.
Okay, that does seem like a good idea. I'll have a good look through it, Ruth. Thank you.
Firstly, I do try and ensure there's an overlap between a PA who's already been working for me and the new PA coming in, just to sort of the assistance that I actually need to get in and out of bed, get on and off the toilet, etc., then can be practiced. In addition to that, I would always offer somebody the chance to go on a moving and handling course, which is run by the social services.
When I get to the stage of actually starting a new PA, I tend to spend their first couple of shifts giving them a lot of my time. Just give the thing sort of a spray over. That's it. Now if you run the tap, and sort of just under the front room as well, that's where it tends to get a bit grubby. Obviously independent living, it's not about sort of getting bogged down in getting the basic things done. You'd like someone to be able to learn the ropes and be able to get on with it.
Alright.
Yeah, that's good.
Induction obviously has to be within the control of the disabled person, but also, whilst not taking away control from the individual employer, it sometimes can be useful to have perhaps one of your other PAs to show a new PA how to do certain things, because certain tasks can be difficult for you to demonstrate to them.
This is the hoist control, and these buttons control the movement.
Very important to have constant ongoing support and perhaps supervision with your PA, and that doesn't necessarily mean regular formal meetings or appraisal, but it does mean making sure that every so often you ask your PA how things are going, and equally that you tell them if you're not happy with the way they're doing certain things, or indeed that you tell them that you are happy when you feel that they've done things well.
I was in an instance once where I used to come home from work and regularly find bins not emptied, coffee stains all over the kitchen. Something that takes so little time, but just because it hadn't been pointed out that I liked it in this way to be done before I go to work. And all I had to really do is sit down with the PA, talk it through, and since then it's never happened because I've tackled it straight away.
A tendency I've noticed with some PAs is they tend to start off very good, and then somehow the quality of their work deteriorates. And they end up spending a lot of time sitting down on the sofa and not doing a hell of a lot of work. So at that stage it's important to find out what's wrong. I suppose an issue that's quite common in the supervision session is how the job is actually being done. And does it really matter how that job is done as long as it gets done? Obviously independent living is about sort of getting things done the way you want them done, how you like things done. And I suppose an example of that is I like my hot chocolate made in a very specific way. And if it's not done that specific way, it doesn't taste the same and I don't like it.
Darling, here's your cuppa.
Okay, cheers.
You need to be tactful and respect the other person's feelings and do it in a way that even if you're saying something negative, it sounds positive as well. So say to them, instead of doing X, why don't you try and do Y instead, and explain to them why exactly they need to do Y. Is there any reason why you're being late?
Yeah, I get a lift with a friend, and basically it's her that's making me late. Sorry about that.
Don't worry. Do you think there's some other way you could come to work?
Yeah, I could get the tube or the train or something.
Yeah, that sounds good.
it's best sometimes to try and sit down with people as soon as you can when the problems occurred, although I always try and calm down and, get my head into a good space before I do that, otherwise I just get angry.
Are you having any problems with the job at all?
I am having one problem, yeah, just with getting up at night. I'm finding it quite tiring. But that's about it, really.
Yeah, that is understandable. I do try to get people up as few times as possible during the night, but obviously it's something that I can't avoid altogether. I think the best solution is if I tried to give you more breaks during the day just to give you a chance to recover. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sometimes the supervision is very straightforward. Both sides are happy, then it can be over in a few minutes. But if you do have a problem with something that they're doing, you do have to have the courage to raise it and be honest with them and tell them to be honest as well.